is a made-up country because our tax in our country is very difficult. So when we do the decimal activity, you'll see. All right, so this one says T of x equals a bracket. First piece, 0 when x is less than or equal to $15,000. 0.12x when x is in between $15,000 and less than or equal to $30,000. 0.18 times the quantity of x minus 30,000 plus 3,600 when x is bigger than 30,000. Right? Part A said, so let's first look at the variables. What does x, guys, represent in this problem? What does x represent in this problem? Sam? Yes, good job. Okay, so x is the amount of income. What is, Jevin, what is T of x? What does it represent? The amount of what? That you're going to pay, yep. T of x is the amount must be paid as tax. You're right. Okay. Part A, Grace is not here, so we'll go to Tana. Tana, help us read Part A, please.
Your income is $28,000. What amount of tax will you pay?
Ooh, if your income is $28,000. Piece number 1. Piece number 2. Or piece number 3, Tanner? 2. You're right, because that's in between 15 and 30. So now we're going to plug in piece number 2 and calculate our amount that we have to pay. Here we go. Tax amount of $28,000 is, we're going to use piece number 2. So 0.12 times $28,000. Please punch in your calculator, write down your number. Confirm that with your friends. Holden, what's your number when you punch it in?
3,360.
No pennies or anything? No. Okay, so you will pay $3,360 when your income is 28K. Are you guys okay if I write 28K? K for, by the way, K stands for what? Thousands, you're right. Okay. Zoe, help me read part B, please. Ooh, yeah. So Zoe, piece 1, piece 2, piece 3. Piece 1. Can you guys see that $14,000, 500 is less than that? So you'll pay how much? You will pay how much money? 0. Okay. $0. Yep. Part C. Hannah, help us read part C, please. Oh, yeah, this one says how much more did your friend pay? So make sure we answer that part. All right, so we're going to calculate 2 people's income here. This is your income, and this is your friend. Okay. So you make $25,000. So Kyle, if you make $25,000, Kyle, piece 1, 2, or 3? 2. Yep, let's plug it in. So your income is 25. So your tax is going to be tax amount of $25,000 equals 0.12 times $25,000. All right, punch it in, guys. Compare your answer. Tyler, give me a number when you have it. $3,000. You guys agree with that number? Okay. So your tax amount is $3,000. True or false? How about your friend? What? Your friend makes $32,000. Jake S. What piece are we using? First piece, second piece, or third piece? Third piece. All right, let's plug it in. So we have tax amount of $32,000 equals, we are going to use third piece, which is 0.18 times 32,000, take away 30,000, and then add 3,600. All right. So Haley, what is 32,000 take away 30,000? 2,000. Okay. And Sam, what is 2,000 times 0.18? 36. One more time. Even? Like that? No. Oh, I'm sorry, 360. Thank you. And then plus 3,600. All right. So add it together, Ethan. Your friend will pay how much in taxes? 3,960. Yep. But are those the answers? Are those the answers? Do we box those up? No. What do we do now to find how much more your friends have to pay? So you subtract it. Yep. So 3,960 minus 3,000. So your friends would pay how much more? Your friend would pay $960 more than you. Okay. So as you guys see, the first two examples are given to us the equation already. Okay. Our last one here is when we have to write it ourselves. Okay. Just like the linear notes, we started out with the equations given to us, and then we write it ourselves to solve. So creating piecewise models, okay, sometimes we are not given the equation in the problem, and we have to create it ourselves. So here are the guidelines. Jasmine, can you help us read number 1, please? Yeah, just like earlier, highlighting the numbers. Kelly, can you help us read number 2, please?
Highlight any keywords in a different language.
Perfect. Annalise, number 3, please.
Define your variables if they are not defined for.
Perfect. Number 4, please, Cam.
Use the variables, numbers, and any other information
To write your domain restriction. Val, can you help me with number 5, please?
Use the variable, numbers, and any other information to write
The output, which is the y value. Okay. Number 6, Ian.
Right, using the piecewise function.
Good. Remember, the piecewise function has the bracket. You only have one y, okay? And then you have the big bracket, and then you put as many pieces in there as the information is given. Brad, number 7, please.
Use the function to answer any questions asked.
Perfect. All right, this is a big read. So, Emma, can you help us read holders of credit cards? Emma's not here? Sophia, can you read us holders of credit cards? Thank you so much. Okay, so on here, guys, it already gave us the variables. Let X be the total bill, okay? And then Y is the minimum payment. So that's already given to us, so we don't have to define these ourselves. Okay, we're gonna do it one line at a time, guys. Okay. I know this is on your next page, so we can just all look at the question here. It says the minimum due depends, okay? How much we owe. So the first line says, if for the bill less than $10, the entire amount is, okay? So that means when we write it right here, X is the bill. How do we write when it's less than $10? The whole thing is O. How do we write the domain restriction for that? What should we do? How do we write the domain restriction, which is right here? What do we put right there? When the bill is less than 10, what do we write? Simple. Don't think too hard. X less than 10. You're right. Okay? If it's less than 10, how much is due? Huh?
10.
Less than 10. So what if you owe $5? What's due?
0.
No. 5, because it's at the whole amount. So would you give whatever you owe? That's how much you pay? True or false? Yeah, exactly. I'm going to use a different color for the next line. Ready? For a bill at least $10 but less than 100. Would you guys agree that at least means if I have at least $10, could I technically have 10? Okay, so that's inclusive, okay? So including 10, but less than what? 100. Okay, so now this one says the minimum due is $10. So far, so good? Okay. I'm going to use a different color for the third. Let's use blue. For a bill of at least 100, but less than 1,000. All right, tell me how to write the domain restriction for that, guys. At least 100, but less than 1,000. Tell me what is the right notation for the domain restriction. Mm-hmm.
100 is less than or equal to X, and X is less than 1,000.
Yes, way to go. All right, that is 100% right. What is due? What's due? 10%. And 10%, how do we write that in decimals? 0.1. Oh, that's a fat pen. Let me make the 0.10 of X. Okay, so whatever X is, it's 10% of X. So you can write 0.10, you can write 0.1, all of that's the same. All right, last line, we'll go use rainbow. And for bills $1,000 or more, it's going to be what percentage? How much is due? 15. Okay, so the restriction for the domain, Chris, how do we write the restriction for the domain?
It would be 1,000 is less than or equal to X.
Not less than. Remember, it says when a bill is $1,000 or more. So it can't be less than.
Oh, greater than.
Greater than. You are right. Okay, a greater than or equals to, right? Or more. Okay, for 10, for 1,000. Now, how much is going to be due, Chris?
10% again.
No, I don't believe it's 10. What do you think?
Oh, 15.
15%. So how do we translate that in our math equation?
15x.
Yes. Okay. All right. So that's, we took what's in the paragraph, we put it in simpler language, and now we have to do the correct piecewise format. Piecewise format, guys, only one y or one f of x, and everything else should be exactly the same. X, and then comma or semicolon here, when x is going to be less than 10. Then the next one is 10. $10 is due if we owe between $10 and $100. Then we pay 10% of the bill if we owe in between 100 and 1,000. Can you see like nothing's really changing except we're getting rid of a lot of the y's, and then we can kind of get rid of the word when. And then when we owe at least $1,000, so $1,000 or more, then we pay 15%. Okay, all of that right there is our piecewise. All right, Lonnie, can you help us read number 3, please?
What is f of 45? Write your solution as a point and interpret that point given the context of the problem.
Good. Okay. F of 45, students. Let's find it. Question number 1. 45. Is that X or is that Y? 45. Is that X or Y? Lauren, what do you think, honey? This number, what does that represent? It's not Y. Sibby, if it's not Y, then it has to be what? X. Guys, F of 45, that means X is 45. Okay. Now look at your equation. When X is 45, which piece should we use? First, second, third, or fourth? Second. When you owe $45, how much are we paying monthly? $10, okay? So F of 45, students, equals $10. And it says write it as a point. So how do we write it as a point? What goes first? Jake, G, what goes first when we write it as an order pair? $45, and then Y would be what, Jake? 10. Yep, that's an order pair. Then it says, interpret that value, okay? So in a complete sentence, here we go. When you're what? When the total, what's X again? Tanner, what's X again?
45.
Well, that's right. But what does it mean in this context?
Total
Bill, yes. When the total bill is $45. Okay. You owe, what's your payment? How about the payment is? The payment is $10 per month. So super important that we know what the variables represent, okay? Number 4. Sibby, can you read us number 4, please?
What would the minimum payment be on a bill that is?
Perfect. So this has 2 parts. So now we are looking for the minimum payment. So Lauren, is that X or Y? No, look at your variable again. Minimum payment is what variable? Y. You're right. We're looking for Y. Okay, so we're going to go backwards a bit. So that means we know we're looking for Y. The first one is when X equals $417. All right, which piece are we going to use? What is it? The third. You're right, because 417 is in between 100 and 1,000 students. So we're going to multiply by 10 to get our minimum payment, okay? So F of 417, we are using the third one, which is this right here. And that's 10% of X. So 0.10 of 417. This should be not too bad of a number. Jasmine, what's 10% of 417, huh? $41.70. So would you guys agree 70 is 70 cents technically? Okay, so make sure. All right. So your minimum payment, students, is $41.70 if your bill is $417. All right. All right. You guys go do part B. But before we do part B, Ethan, which piece should we use to calculate the minimum payment for part B? First, second, third, fourth piece? The fourth piece. That's right. All right, guys. Everybody calculate the fourth piece. And Ethan, when you have a number, hon, let me know. Everybody should use your calculator, punch it in, get a number, so that way you guys can confirm with Ethan.
547.
20 cents. Confirm. Is that correct? Did we all get that? I didn't calculate this. I'm just gonna trust you guys. Everyone do it, please, so that way we can confirm Ethan's answer. Is the minimum payment $547.20? No, okay, not it. All right, Ethan, try it again. 0.15 times $3,468, hon. 500 and? I can't hear you, Ethan. $520.20. Confirm? Okay, perfect. So your minimum payment is 500. Where did you get 47 from?
Oh, I was just trusting Dylan.
Oh, so when I call Ethan, is that meant Dylan? All right. 5, here we go. Sam, can you help us read 5, please? Okay, thank you so much. All right, we are now looking for the total bill. So, Sam, total bill is what variable, X or Y? That's Y. When the minimum, are you sure? Yes, no? We're good? No, don't change just because I'm asking. Okay, let's go back and look at it really quick. Always double check. Okay, total bill is X and minimum payment is Y. So it's looking for what's the total bill? We want to go back and check. Oh, let me go back and check. So we're looking for X. Yes or no? Okay. So when your Y is 75, we got to go backwards a little bit. All right, let's check. This is a little bit more difficult. When the Y value is 75, we have to figure out which piece to use, right? Find X. Well, how do we know which piece to use? This is the more difficult one. It does require you guys to think. 75 is our Y. That's how much we're going to be paying monthly, right? So now we need to know what amount must be owed. So now let's look at this for you guys. If, can you see the second piece right here? All eyes on here, because this is going to help you guys. On the second piece, if we owe, so here we go. If we owe $99.99, because technically, is that less than 100? If we owe $99.99, what is our payment? Still just what? $10. Yes or no? If we owe $10, we pay 10. So is this going to be the second piece to calculate that question? Yes or no? Is it? Can we use the second piece to calculate part 5A? Yes or no? No, because your Y is 75, your payment is 75, so we know second piece is not a good fit, right? Let's go to the third piece. If we owe, ready? $100, students. So we're picking the extreme here. If your bill is $100, what's your monthly payment? 10. If your bill is $1,000, what's your monthly payment? 100, right, guys? Or $999. It'd be pretty close to 100. So is the third piece a better fit? Yeah, because $75 is in between $10 and $99.99. Okay, so we're gonna use part 3, piece 3, to solve that one. Okay, so when Y equals 75, we are using 10. Piece number 3, which is 10% of the bill. Okay, so 75 equals 0.10x. To solve for x, what should we do, Haley?
Divide by 10.
Good. If you need your calculator's help, you can use that, Haley. Everyone else, punch it in so we can confirm if you need to. All right, Haley, whenever you have a number, let me know.
750?
750. Jake S., do you confirm with Haley?
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So that means, so if your amount payment is $75, students, that means you have to owe the credit card $750. Okay, next part. This part, $243 is how much your payment is. What is the credit card bill? All right, piece, technically, guys, can we use piece number 3 again? If our payment is $243, can we, what's the largest, for piece number 3, what's the largest payment? $999, would you guys agree? So that's, I'm sorry, not $99.99, my bad, because it has to be less than 1,000, right? 10% of 1,000 is $100. It has to be less than $100. So this has to be the one that we use, right? Because $243 is a lot bigger than $99.99. Okay, so we're gonna plug into the 4th piece and solve. Okay. So 243 equals 0.15 of x. Then we are going to, Tyler, how do we solve x?
Times 43 times 0.15.
I think you meant divide. Yeah? Okay. All right, use your calculator, Tyler. Punch it in.
Or 1620.
1620, like that. No pennies or anything. All right, confirm that for me. Yeah. All right, so that means your credit card is $1,620 for you to pay $243. Perfect. Okay. This is the part where you do have to write this on your own because I'm not going to write on here. Okay. Explain why there cannot be a minimum payment of $120. Ooh. All right, guys. Thinking time. How come your payment would never be $125? What is the reasoning? Okay, so Kyle, do you have a reason why it cannot be? So in your team, discuss. Talk about it, and then I'm shuffling the cards, and one person will go just the answer. How come? Why is it that? Talk it out. Bless you.
Well, I mean, you can't have like a repeating amount. Is, I think it's what we're saying.
All right, Holden's team, did you discuss? Okay. What?
Because the only formula you can use is the fourth one, but if you do that formula, what's it called? The bill wouldn't reach $1,000 or above. The only formula you can use for this problem is the fourth formula, since the maximum amount of the minimum payment.
Oh, minimum payment. Okay, minimum payment. Yep. It's how much on the 4th one?
$833.
For 15% of 1,000?
I don't know how to explain it better.
You're on there. Honestly, you're right there. Brad.
Pretty much, it's for the 4th one. It has to be at least 150, but then the 3rd one only goes up to 99.9. So it's like in between that.
Yep, at most, right? One is at least and one's at most. Would you agree?
Yes.
Minimum payment is at most $99.99. Okay. And then this one, minimum payment is one's at most and one is at least, like what Brad is saying. And Ian, you were there, okay? Right? So the only two that we should compare are those two. This one, because it goes up to 1,000, so the largest monthly payment that you're gonna have for this bracket is $99.99. This one, the least amount will be $150. There's no in between that will give us $125. Okay, you spell that out on that question. Everyone spell it your own way, use your own words. And that is the end of our notes. Our next task is going to be our decimal activity, which is in your weekly agenda on Canvas. So go and click on the third link, okay?